Because on this day.
In 1955, in Southampton, England, John Howard Jones was born.
Who?
Howard Jones.
Oh.
I guess Howard's his middle name. I don't know.
That's funny. It says here he's a Welsh musician. And,
Yeah.
in this thing I'm looking at. You said he was born in Southampton, Northampton. I guess he could be Welsh, but his parents came down. Let's go have a baby down there.
Sure.
You know, there's a picture here.
Honestly, Blaine in the chat room nails it. Utah's own
Yeah.
Exactly.
Howard Jones.
There's a picture of Howard Jones here on Wikipedia performing live at the Let's Rock Liverpool show July 31st of last year. And he's wearing, I don't know how to describe this suit he's wearing. It is
Fashionable?
no,
Oh.
Flamboyant?
no, yeah, kind of. And it looks like something you would wear if you wanted to be an optical illusion on a TV camera.
Oh.
Now, I don't know how, I can't explain it any better than that, but I think if you look at Howard Jones on Wikipedia, you'll see what I mean. It looks like a
Oh, is it
suit
one of
that-
those things like you cross your eyes and you can see the temple?
Yeah, maybe.
Is it one of those?
Yeah, it's got lines and then it's got blank spaces on it, and it's really odd.
The cameraman cursing him because he keeps screwing up the filters.
But
Do you remember
Howard's
when everybody
our
had
pal.
those the paintings where if you crossed your eyes you could see the temple? That was a thing for a while.
I
didn't have one of those.
I never saw one that was the temple. I saw one that was like a tiger's face or something like that.
I had one that I crossed my eyes and looked at it, and it hurt my eyes for a long time.
I seem to recall you couldn't ever get it to work, Bill. Like,
What?
you never saw the thing you were supposed to see.
I don't recall that.
I remember
when
having
were you
this-
ever with me? When
No, we were just you had encountered one of those paintings and
Gee.
you said you couldn't get it to work. for
you know, I seem to recall that never happened. Howard Jones. Let's go back to him for a second. Of course, he was our pal for a long time. We, Carrie and I, went to his house on 2-3 occasions, I think.
I just say several because I've forgotten.
Yeah. In Maidenhead. And, you know, oh, that's right. The second time we were there, he brought out this painting that was all these dots and said, Bill, here, look at this. See if you can see the temple. And I couldn't. So, Gina, you were absolutely right.
Okay, that's what I thought.
And Katie put down on the list of opening songs, I like that song. It's, we're keeping
You picked
track.
You totally picked it.
Out of the Howard Jones choices, yeah. So, let's not count this one, Katie, because I picked it, which means
Well,
I
of course
liked
you
it, but
liked
yeah. So let's not count it. For those of you who don't know, we're making this list because Gina maintains that I hate every opening song we ever do, and I said, no, that's not true. And she said, it is too. And I said, I'm tired of you defaming my character. Let's keep a list. So we'll see. The end of the month.
Now, I'm already getting messages saying, hey, what about the guy from Screaming Trees? Potty break song, 9 o'clock. Okay, we'll get to you. But here's one that we could have done. We could have done this one today.
Why? Procol Harum?
Mm-hmm.
Who died?
Gary Brooker, frontman.
Yeah.
The guy singing this song.
This was a hit, man.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a good song.
It was the cancer. He was 76. All right.
He had one other song that got a lot of airplay. I can't think of what it is now.
We skip the light fandango, turns cartwheels across the floor.
Now, see, I grew up thinking that this was a Joe Cocker song.
Yeah.
That's right. Joe did it too.
Joe did a cover of it, and it
Yeah.
was quite good. Is this the other one?
Yeah. Yeah. What's this called?
Conquistador.
Conquistador. Yeah. That was So something of a hit.
Reek of purity. I see your armor-plated breast.
Procol Harum, and I have no idea what that band name means. I should look it up, but I'm not going to.
I don't blame you.
Howard is still performing though. He still
that
comes to Utah.
was just a year
occasionally.
ago.
He still comes here and has a dedicated following of people. Last time I saw Howard here, he asked me, and this was quite a long time ago. He said, "Bill, do you know any place I can get some wheatgrass?" And I said, "What?" He said, I like to drink wheatgrass. Do you know? And because I'd never heard at that point of anybody doing that. It's a supplement. I like to drink it. It's for my health. Wheatgrass. I don't know, Howard. I don't. But I think we talked about it on the radio briefly, and a bunch of people called some little place in Sugar House.
Some rock stars come to town and ask where they can get drugs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Others
Howard is clean
and ask where you can get wheatgrass.
Not others. One other.
One
Howard Jones. Yeah, one other Howard Jones. Well, he's a nice man.
He
And
was, yes.
He's still married to Jan, it says here.
Oh.
When we're talking a lot about our 30th anniversary with
This is a big part of it. Yeah.
X96, and Howard came to town and played in Louise's backyard.
Yeah, Chuck Wagon breakfast that we used to have annually in our friend Louise Ballantyne's backyard. I think we did it 4 or 5 years in a row. Chuck Wagon breakfast in July because, well, who doesn't enjoy a Chuck Wagon breakfast? And so we said to Howard, you're going to be in town. Will you come and play in Louise's backyard? Of course I will.
For 50 people?
Yeah. Yeah,
Or not
it
even
was
that
great.
many.
Oh, I bet there were about 50 people there. It was big. Yeah, that was fun. We should have a Chuck Wagon breakfast again.
Katie, this is back when I did your job and I wasn't allowed to go to things because I had to stay in the studio, and Carrie and Bill went and had adventures. So I know how you feel.
And you see Gina, she equates that with not being allowed. Doing her job is not being allowed to do something.
I could see it.
Yeah,
They went to the Olympics.
I would have maintained Katie. I would maintain. That's right. We should have allowed Gina to go with us, Carrie.
They would have been monumental broadcasts.
Yeah.
They wouldn't, we would have had a great time. No one would have heard them.
No, because
that's
nobody
right.
would have been back there producing the show. So
I just want Katie to know I know how she feels. I've been
Katie,
there.
how do you feel?
I'm good.
You're fine, right? Yeah, Katie's fine. It's her job. You see, Gina?
I'm tired.
She's a little cold. That's about
Yeah,
it.
it was cold getting out to my car this morning. I was not happy about that.
It was not cold when we went to the Olympics in Athens. It was wonderful.
Or Australia.
Yeah, it was
or
wonderful.
Japan.
See that? I would be jealous too. I would totally be jealous too.
Gina, hang on. It was cold in Japan because that was the Winter Olympics.
Oh, okay.
Or was it? I can't remember.
It was not toasty warm, but it wasn't freezing cold either.
Tell Gina, here's a texter. Tell Gina, I dare say the roads are worse today than they were yesterday.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Mm.
We got a Chef Roy checking in. Saw it happen at 5:30 this morning. Single car roll over 23rd East on ramp, heading west down to one lane. Major pileup southbound I-15 just south of 106 South.
Really? Okay.
So yeah, we got another bad one today.
Well, I suppose we ought to get the show started officially.
Mm-hmm.
Let's have our Mill Creek coffee.
All right.
Mill Creek coffee. Look, Ma, no cavities. Mill Creek coffee. It doesn't quite work, does it?
None of them do.
What? Of course the quicker picker upper works perfectly
okay,
well. So, anyway.
Let me do a little bit of traffic since you mentioned it, Carrie.
Yeah.
And we'll of course take your check-ins, and I think we should give a prize to a checker inner.
Okay.
because we have lots of prizes today. How about we give tickets to Tig Notaro to a random checker inner? Okay, so here's what we have. High wind warning for Cache, Weber, and Davis counties. Expect up to 50-mile-an-hour winds coming out of the canyons. High-profile vehicles need to use caution in all of those areas. Rollover crash, southbound Mountain View corridor, 62nd south, car on the right shoulder. Road is snow-covered and icy. Winter driving conditions in Sardine Canyon with snow and blowing wind. Multi-vehicle crash southbound I-15 approaching 114th South exit in Draper. I think this is the one in front of the program was letting us know about. Center lanes are blocked. Roads are slick and traffic is stopped and backing up toward 90th South in Sandy. It's snowing a little bit out there, and it's so cold that we've got that icy condition on the roads this morning. So worse than yesterday, it seems, is what friends of the program are reporting. If you see something and it's safe for you to text us, you can do that at 33986. Odyssey Dance Theater celebrates 28 years performing their final Shut Up and Dance Spring Repertory Season March 2nd through the 12th. Visit odysseydance.com for discounts and ticket information.
That check-in number, so that you might be considered to win tickets to see Tig Notaro, but check in just for altruistically, the goodness of your heart. You want to say hi, tell us what you're doing. The phone number is 877-602-9696.
All right, we'll be back for your check-ins after these. Wendy's for breakfast. You know, I thought that this hot honey chicken sandwich was going to be our secret, just between us. You know, the listeners of X96.
Yeah, no.
No, it's
Everybody?
it's everywhere. It's exploded.
Oh,
Everybody
how about
loves
that?
this. Everybody loves this sandwich. What it is it's the new hot honey sauce, and they drizzle that sauce over your chicken fillet, your spicy chicken fillet. Then they add applewood smoked bacon right on top of that. Then they add on top of that melty pepper jack. And then this is the thing. This is what sets it apart. The stack of tangy, crunchy dill chips. So you get the crispy. I love the texture on a sandwich like that. So you get the sweet, you get the tangy, you get the spicy. It's all there together. Wendy's hot honey chicken biscuit. Tell you what, everyone's talking about the sandwich version of this, all right? Our secret will be the breakfast biscuit, all right? They do this in a breakfast biscuit version, the warm buttermilk biscuit. So hit the drive-thru at Wendy's. The hot honey chicken biscuit is only available during breakfast hours, of course. So on your way to work, drive-thru at Wendy's.
Hello, it's Corey O'Brien, and you might have heard by now.
This one from Emily. Things that must go. My guilt. Allow me to explain. The year was 2008. I was a fresh-faced Mormon teenage newlywed whose older sister had landed her a sweet second job at a local coffee house. The first busy weekend I worked, one of our employees rolled up hungover or possibly still drunk and was subsequently sent home to sleep it off. I was new and we were short-handed. Up rolls an SUV, at the window rolls down to reveal the incomparable Gina Barberi. I was awestruck.
So is
She
another
orders
Gina
it.
Barberi?
She orders a drink. A latte, I believe, with an extra shot of espresso. Yes, that's my order.
Is that it? Yeah.
I take her order and proceed to produce my best hurried hot beverage. I pulled 3 perfect shots of espresso. I take all the time the growing line will allow to froth and mix. Make sure the lid is nice and tight. Stop her in. Out to the drive-thru window I dash with a smile, and away she goes, a vision of local celebrity and grace. My older sister yells back from the front, "What are these shots for? Should I throw them out?" I forgot to put the coffee in her coffee. I waited all day. I waited all day for her return. I waited for a call to speak with the manager. I thought maybe next weekend she'll come back and I make her a drink on the house. But the call never came, and she never came. I'm now a grizzled 30-something ex-Mormon and mother of 2 with under-eye bags and an anxiety disorder. I now know how much that caffeine probably meant to you. I thought I ruined your day with a coffeeless coffee. It's haunted me for more than a decade. I am sorry, Gina. Please accept my apology. Allow me to make it up to you. Can I buy you a drink sometime? Maybe a pair of those fluffy socks you're so fond of. Thank you for letting me listen and for allowing me the pleasure of serving you an albeit inferior beverage all those years ago. Long-time listener, first-time complainer, Emily.
How many years?
10.
2008.
Oh, my God.
Did you come to work? I seem to remember you coming to work and
Yeah.
then going, I have
going,
nothing but
There's-
foam here.
There's no coffee in this coffee.
Here it is from 2000. I love that. I love this.
It's a book club. It's a book club.
6:21. Let's get this over with.
I don't know what the book is this month, but it's a book club.
It's a book club.
All right, let's get it over with. And then we'll go to your check-ins, 877-602-9696. Lines are full because I'm sure people, they're calling just because they want to chat with us, not trying to win those Tig Notaro tickets, I'm sure.
Demand for nurses is higher than ever. Nightingale College blends online classes with on-ground supervised field experience. Enroll now for upcoming summer semester. Visit them at nightingale.edu.
The moon. It's lovely, hanging in the sky. The moon, 54.8% of full. It will set today at 10:55 a.m. Today being Wednesday. It's the 23rd day of February in the year of our Lord Jesus Christ, 2022. And this is the Radio from Hell show, starring the content creators of morning radio. Content creators, because that is what we do.
It's
we
king.
create content. Now, here is content creator Kerry Jackson.
Hi.
I'm content creator Bill Allred. There's creator of content Gina Barberi. Now, Katie for short is our content manager, and to assist in the important work of creating content, we have Miriam and Skip filling in today.
Hey, Skip.
In the producer's booth. All right, so here we go.
All right,
Check-ins.
let's start with Amber. Hi, Amber.
Hi, Amber.
How are you?
Good. What's up?
You know, it's funny. I was actually calling to do a weather check-in, but then you started talking about Wendy's, and so I flipped a U-E and went to Wendy's. And I got here, and it wasn't open yet.
Oh.
So I honked the horn, not realizing they don't open until 6:30. And Juan opened the window, and he said, "I'll hook you up. Don't worry about it." And I said, "Well, I'm on the phone with the radio right now.
Well, thanks, Juan.
What's your name?"
Way to go. Way to go, Juan. That's being
There
a
you
guy.
go, Juan.
Yeah.
That's service, is what that is.
Thank you, Juan.
Yep. Honey butter chicken biscuit on the way.
Yeah, well,
First one of the day. You'll get the first one of the day.
I'm just amazed.
I've
Juan
never
is,
had it before, so.
Juan is just, what a guy. I'll hook you up.
I
Don't
know.
worry. Yeah.
Well, I feel bad because I got here early, but
Oh,
hey,
it's
I'm
okay.
looking forward to it.
You know that song that you hear all the time, "We Need a Hero"? It's about Juan.
There you go.
We need a hero. Yep.
This call is too good. We just should give her Tig Notaro tickets.
I think
She
so.
wants them.
Would you like
Oh,
some
you guys
Tig
are
Notaro?
awesome.
Tig's
Well, I
coming
called to say
to.
that it was a blizzard in West Jordan, and then it's dry in Sugar House. But I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Okay.
That's okay. I was just letting you know that Tig Notaro is coming to the complex on April 15th.
Oh my gosh, I love her. She has such a quirky, dry sense of humor.
Well,
I
hang on
don't know.
the line, and we'll get your information and tell you how to get those tickets. All right?
Oh, I'm so excited. Thank you.
No problem.
Okay,
Put it on
maybe,
hold.
maybe you and Juan could go together.
Maybe. All right. Let's go to Sherry. Hi, Sherry.
Good morning.
Good
Thanks
morning.
for letting me listen for 30 years.
Oh,
Wow.
I
You're
go
welcome.
so far back. I had the orange Q sticker in my house in Roy growing up, going to Roy Junior High in the 70s.
Yeah, that's way before X96, yeah.
So I have three really funny 30 years worth of boner adjacent stories.
Okay.
Told Mikhail, Gina's sister, these a few months ago, and she's like, "You have to tell my sister these stories." So my kids, who are 38 and 36 now, went to a private Christian school in Layton. And I did carpool, and I was the young mom in the school, the only unmarried single mom. And so I did carpool, and just had a couple little kids with my kids driving to school. And I got a call from the principal saying, the parents in the carpool are really concerned that you're listening to really bad stuff on the way to the radio, on the way to school.
Yeah.
And I said, "What are you talking about?" "The boner." And I was like, "Oh, crap." And so one of the little boys' moms called me and said, "Can you please not listen to that offensive stuff on the way to school?"
That happened more than
So
once.
I'd have the kids in the back seat, and I still wanted to listen to the damn boner of the day. So I turned the radio down really low. And so that was the first one. Second one, my daughter, again, a couple years later. The first story was about 29 years ago. A couple years later, in the same school, they had current events that they would share. And so, first period, what's a current event? And so my daughter told this story, probably about a Florida man, because that really dominated the boners for decades.
Yeah.
And the principal said, "Where did you hear this story?" And she goes, "Oh, it was boner of the day." Once again,
Uh-oh.
it gets called in to the principal's office.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, I was always the rebel. And then 15 years ago, I had two foreign exchange students from Korea that were going to St. Joe's, and I would drive them to school every morning. And Mom, they called me Mom. "What is a boner?" "Boner is mistake."
Yeah.
Exactly.
Next morning, driving them to school, listening to Boner of the Day, and these two boys, they were 13 and 15 at the time, again from Korea. English was their second language. They're in the back seat just giggling, and I said, "What?" And they said, "We know what boner is now, Mom." So those are my
It's a
bonus stories.
mistake.
Yes,
It's
look
a
it up.
mistake.
I don't know why people
But
put that
also-
dirty connotation to it.
I don't know.
So yeah,
All right.
you guys have been with me for,
Well, Sherry,
and I went through really tough times, and your guys' podcast have really
Well,
kept me
we're-
company after I
we're
left
happy to
my
do it.
Sherry,
husband.
thank you.
And
do we have something we can give
No.
Sherry?
Let's see, Sherry. Your choice, actually. We can either give you a tote bag or a coffee mug, or we have tickets to.
tote back.
Oh,
Oh,
all right.
There you go.
Right.
Oh wait, tickets to what? Tickets to what?
I'm sorry, you said tote bag.
No, tickets to Pucifer.
Pucifer.
Oh no. I'll take the
Okay.
tote bag.
Tote
right.
bag. Okay.
Hang on,
the
hang on.
line.
I think you get
Thanks,
more
Sherry.
use out of that. Hang on the line. We'll get that for you. Mike?
Hey, Mike, what's up?
Good morning, lords and ladies.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I just want to do a check-in, tell you guys thanks for letting me enjoy your creative content.
You're
And,
quite welcome.
It is my Friday today, so I'm just enjoying it, making it through the day.
All right,
All right.
Mike. Well, thanks for contributing to
Thank you,
our
Mike.
creative content here on the Content Creators Show, Radio from Hell.
All right. Thank you, Mike. Traffic, Gina, please.
Well, we've got extreme wind in South Weber. Actually, all Davis County seeing winds 50 miles plus. If high-profile vehicles are going to need to be very careful this morning. Crash southbound I-15 at the 215 interchange in Midvale. Cars are on the right shoulder. Emergency vehicles not even on the scene yet. Multi-vehicle crash southbound I-15 approaching 114 South exit in Draper. Center lanes are blocked. Roads are slick and traffic is stopped and backing up toward 90th South in Sandy. Winter driving conditions in Sardine Canyon with snow and blowing wind. And there's power outages, actually, you need to be aware of. Weber and Davis County waking up to a dark 3,200 customers or more without power in Weber and Davis counties. They're not estimating electricity to be back on before noon today, and it is bitter cold. We're having reports from friends of the program saying it's worse driving conditions today than yesterday because of that wind, in addition to a little bit of snow coming in and icy road conditions. So this is a good day to...
I thought my furnace was broken this morning. As it turned out, it was just frozen.
It was just cold.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. All right.
It's not good at all. This is brought to you by Odyssey Dance Theater, celebrating 28 years, performing their final Shut Up and Dance spring repertory season, March 2nd through the 12th. Visit odysseydance.com for discounts and ticket information.
All right. We got, in the next break, we got things that must go. Stand by for that. We'll get to it on your way. BigOTires.com. You need them today.
Yeah. Oh, you sure need Big O tires. Winter tires are great, but, they do more than just tires. We sometimes don't mention that enough, I think. Big O, of course, they have the lowest price on every tire every day, but you can go in there for brake work, alignments, oil changes, batteries, and a lot more at Big O Tires.
They do have this President's Day sale still going on, though, now through February 27th. You can earn $70 rewards card on select sets of Michelin tires, plus an additional $120 in mail-in rebates on purchases of $500 or more with your Big O Tires credit card, plus free basic installation.
Develop a relationship with your staff at the Big O Tire store in your neighborhood. And I'm sure there is one near you because there are like 42 of them along the Wasatch Front. You can schedule an appointment online. They are the team you trust, BigOTires.com.
When Radio from Hell.
Here's what Carrie and Bill are doing when they're not on the air in the distant future. The year 2525.
Oh, hello, boys.
Oh, hello there, Chunga. It's about time you showed up.
Sorry. Still got about an hour before airtime, though, boys. Thought maybe I'd change the brine in your pickle vats before we start the show.
Yeah, good idea. Mine's kind of reesty and cloudy. I mean, I can barely see you through the glass. Yeah, and my liquid isn't conducting the electrical impulses I need to blink my eyes.
You guys are amazing. I don't know of any other guys in radio who could have lost their bodies to disease, had their heads preserved in vats through the miracle of cryogenic science, and still go on with the show. I bow in the presence of greatness.
Yeah, and if I still had an ass, you'd be kissing it right now, buddy. Hey, come on, leave the kid alone. All right. He won't change the brine before we have to go on the air if you keep insulting him. Hey, any word on when our audio animatronic bodies are going to be ready, Chunga?
Well, I called Disney, and they apologized for the mix-up with the last bodies they sent you boys. But, Bill, I thought you looked pretty cool with your head on Little Mermaid body.
I wasn't any better off with that body than I am as just a disembodied head in a pickle vat. Who could walk on that tail?
Yeah, the Country Bear Jamboree body they sent me was ridiculous. I think Bill and I are going to be much happier when they send the Chip and Dale bodies.
God, ain't technology wonderful? You said it, brother. Only here in the year 2525 could 2 disembodied heads kept alive in pickle vats do a radio show.
And still come out to be about number 15 in the ratings. Do you guys mind if I wait to change her fluid? I gotta go to the head.
The head. Real funny. What a comedian.
What? Oh, nothing. Hey, watch out. You're jostling my back.
Out!
Help, pick me up. I'm going to die.
Hey, now maybe I can get a full-time gig on the Radio from Hell show. I knew someday I'd get ahead.
Get ahead. Now that's funny, Chunga.
Funny.
All right, 6:37. We do have things that must go coming up here in a moment.
I'm not sure whether to believe this. I saw this today. Tom Hanks doing a sequel or another take on Forrest Gump. I don't remember what happened to Forrest Gump. Did he die at the end of that?
No.
What? Oh, Gina, Gina, I'm sorry. I said I don't remember what happened to Forrest Gump. Why must you chastise me for that?
Because it's one of the most beloved movies of ever. You don't know what happened at the end?
That's right. I'm an idiot.
I don't remember either, Gina.
Yeah.
I saw it once.
Yeah, I did too. I
you
saw it
know,
once. I liked it. I enjoyed
it's
it.
okay, yeah.
Well, sponsor it anyway.
See a new local celebrity each night, including Gina Barberi at Utah Presents play Nassim, running March 1st through the 5th at Kingsbury Hall. Tickets at utahpresents.org.
Tom Hanks.
I was going to say, you don't have to worry about this because it's not. You don't have to remember what happened to Forrest Gump.
Okay. Because it won't make any difference to this project.
It's not a sequel.
Yeah.
No.
Tom Hanks reuniting. Oh, it's not a sequel. It is it's a different thing, but it's the same creative team. That's what they're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Robert Zemeckis will direct it now. Hanks, Zemeckis, and Eric Roth, who was one of the writers and producers of it. Now they're going to work together on something called Here, which is an adaptation of Richard Maguire's novel of the same name. The project has recently gone into production and is reported to be amidst films being eyed for distribution. So it's not a sequel to Forrest Gump. It's something totally different called Here. Tom Hanks will play a character named Frank Bump.
He made that up.
It was a comic strip back in '89. It was a graphic novel.
Yeah. So there you go. Rosie O'Donnell, she feels bad. She's sorry.
Well, she should.
She had to apologize to Priyanka Chopra because she mistakenly thought that Priyanka was the daughter of Deepak Chopra. The former
Are all you Chopras related?
The former View panelist was having lunch at Nobu in Malibu on Monday when she spotted Chopra, whose last name now is Jones, of course, and her husband Nick Jones at the table next to her.
Jonas,
She said,
Jonas.
"Oh, Jonas, yeah." And she said, "Hi, Nick Jonas. You were great in Kingdom." Okay. And then she said to Priyanka, "Hi, I know your dad." And
Really?
Priyanka says, "You do? Well, who's my dad?" And she said, "Deepak. I know Deepak." And she said, "No. Chopra is a very common name in the world. You just don't realize that." And I don't think that Priyanka Chopra really felt insulted by that at all.
It's probably not the first time that's happened.
But Rosie apologized. And she said, it happens all the time. My dad, Lawrence O'Donnell.
Lawrence, you're probably the same age.
Utah is reporting, this is the holiday weekend COVID numbers. Utah Department of Health reported 2,068 new cases. They reported that yesterday on Tuesday. And this covers from last Friday through Monday. 13 additional deaths were reported. School-age children accounted for 249 of that 2,068 cases. The White House. Did you see this? The Black Hawk helicopters that crashed at Snow. This is bizarre. A National Guard official called it a blessing that nobody was injured. 2 Black Hawk helicopters crashed following an incident in American Fort Canyon. Officials had previously stated that the crash had occurred in Little Cottonwood Canyon. Aviation Public Affairs Officer Jared Jones said that the Black Hawks with 2nd General Support Aviation Battalion 211th, the 211th Aviation Regiment, were involved in a Winter Mountain training accident. It was a training accident. This is not written
a
very
training
well,
exercise?
It says here they were involved in a Winter Mountain training accident. I think they were not having a training accident. They were having a training exercise, and it somehow resulted in an accident. It was about 9:30 in the morning yesterday. The helicopters were attempting to land in an approved landing zone just outside Snowbird Ski Resort. They were really close to a lift, apparently.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, there's video of it. I think there are people on the lift or waiting to get on the lift who got out their phones. Both of the helicopters. Apparently, there were whiteout conditions at the moment, and during the landing, a blade from one of the helicopter's main rotor systems struck the main helicopter, taking out its tail rotor. Both of the helicopters went to the ground. One landed on its side, but a lot of damage, but nobody really injured. It could have been very serious. Not only, I think there were just like 2 people on each helicopter, I thought I heard, but it could have, there were people in the ski area, and it could have been really bad. The White House has announced a round of sanctions against Russia after it called the country's Russia's moves on Ukraine, an invasion. President Biden announced the sanctioning of Russian financial institutions and oligarchs on Tuesday. Now, I guess we still haven't sanctioned the most powerful Russian bank or financial institution here in America yet.
Not yet.
They're withholding that pending, if this is
Further
as bad
action.
as it gets, then that's it. But if they go further in and go for the capital, then they need something stronger to come back with.
I'm not sure why America feels that they need to do this, because former President Trump said that Vladimir Putin's decision to send Russian troops into Ukraine was great. He said that this is genius. Putin is genius, he said. He said this is a way to officially recognize the breakaway provinces and authorize the use of Russian military personnel to assist them. So Putin is now saying it's independent, a large section of Ukraine. And I said, how smart is that? I mean, how smart is that? And he's going to go in and be a peacekeeper. We could use that on our southern border right now. That's the strongest peace force I've ever seen. There were more Army tanks than I've ever seen. They're going to keep peace, all right. So that's how you keep peace. More tanks.
More tanks. Let's not forget that the Republican Party platform changed as soon as Trump got in as the nominee to go easy on Russia and to withdraw support from Ukraine. This has been from day one. He's been, Vladimir Putin has been talking to him. Remember, Kushner wanted to get a secret back channel communication going with Russia so that we didn't have to deal with all of this security. We could just talk directly to him.
And in the long run, Donald Trump is an idiot. I mean, really an idiot. He was not doing any of that stuff himself.
No.
He was the tool of people who want that kind of thing.
And everybody keeps saying, if Trump was there, Vladimir Putin wouldn't be invading. No, he wouldn't be invading. Trump would just be allowing it to happen.
And I can tell that Donald Trump is an idiot when he says, there were so many tanks. I've never seen so many tanks. You're dumb.
He's an idiot.
White House has approved a bill, or the Utah House, rather, has approved a bill which blocks businesses from asking for proof of COVID-19 vaccination.
Well, that's getting big government off of our backs of businesses, right?
So if you have a business and you think, I don't want people who are unvaccinated into my business, that's tough. You can't ask for proof of vaccination.
We know who this is pointed at, right?
Well, it's pointed directly at the bayou.
At my neighbors, the bayou.
But there are other businesses who would want to do it or have done it. The bill screams loudly for freedom, said Representative Walt Brooks. I hear no mention of responsibility, said Merrill Nelson, who added that the bill grants a right to go and infect others. So there was some dissent and some logical dissent.
How is this different than smoking in a restaurant? Why don't we smoke in restaurants or businesses? Because it affects other people. How is this any different? What about my freedoms to be able to smoke inside? Why can't I do that?
Well,
how is this different?
We have chipped away at our freedoms. And we're just trying to keep this final straw, Gina, from happening.
And I love that the first thing he shouts is freedom, because that's all they have. They don't have any real excuse or answer or policy. It's just, we'll shout freedom so the dummies will vote for us.
Yeah.
That's it,
And then one final thing here. We were wondering about AlphaCon yesterday and what it was like. Well, Meg Walter, who is with the Deseret News, she went.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a story in the Deseret News about it and how they kicked her out the second day. They asked her not to return.
Mm-hmm.
And she talks a lot about kind of some of the stuff she saw and what the atmosphere was. Not once does she mention how many people were there, how well attended it was. Not once does she mention that. Isn't that one of the questions that most people want to know?
First question, really.
I mean, thank God bless you, Meg. You did. It's not that you did a horrible job. You just left out a key fact.
Mm-hmm.
So we should call her and ask her, were there really any people there to speak of?
Yeah.
Anyway, that's it.
Sports weather traffic.
Well, I don't know why there's so much Aaron Rodgers news lately, but
click,
apparently,
click.
I clicked on it and I've discovered he's done a 12-day cleanse.
Exactly.
So
there's no news anymore. It's all clicks. That's what it's all about.
I saw that and did not click on it.
He couldn't have cold drinks, cold food, caffeine, white sugar, or alcohol or dairy.
So
that's sports. Weather is so bitter cold. Technically it's 21. No, it feels like it's about 12 degrees out there. Katie will attest to that also. And very, very windy and snowing. So worse conditions for driving, at least, than we had yesterday. Very blustery through the morning hours. That'll taper off this afternoon, and the snow will as well. But for the morning commute, I'm afraid it is not good news for folks out there. High wind warnings in effect for Cache Valley, Weber County, Davis County. High-profile vehicles need to be aware of that. Also, car facing sideways southbound I-15 approaching the 146 South exit in Draper. The right lane and shoulder are blocked. It's a scary drive this morning on I-15 through Bluffdale, Draper, and Sandy. Multiple crashes, both directions of the freeway. It is slick. There's blowing snow, and the roads are icy. No snow falling right now in Parley's Canyon, but I-80 looks very icy. Snow coming down in Box Elder County, and Utah County seeing some of the winds also. Roads in Summit County are snow covered and icy. Extreme winds in South Weber. Crash southbound I-15 at the 215 South interchange in Midvale. Cars are on the right shoulder there. It's just going to be another morning like that. Give yourself some space between you and the cars in front of you. Make sure your lights are on. Maybe even wait to drive this morning. It's going to not be great. That's traffic.
All right, things that must go now. Brought to you by?
For over 65 years, they've been a part of your community. The name is changing, but the commitment to you is not. Welcome to You First. YouFirstCU.com.
Things that must go on the radio from Hell Show.
We all have things in our lives that we would like to see gone. Things that must go. And this is an opportunity for you to tell us and the world what's bugging you. What things in your life must go. Send them to radiofromhell@x96.com. Put must go in the subject line. We might read yours on the radio, and if we do, it might make you feel better. And sometimes it miraculously makes things go. Carrie?
All right. I'll start with a couple from the foot of Mount Doom here. When you're wearing dishwashing gloves in a sink full of dishes and you accidentally go too far, you get the water.
And it fills up.
Right in the gloves. Right in the gloves. I hate that. So I think longer gloves are in order. I think up to
that and world hunger right up there.
TV shows that have high school play in them. You know, there's a high school play performing on the TV show, and their sets and costume and music are on the same level as a Broadway play or a Hollywood movie. We're all supposed to believe that they could do all that on a school's budget. Laughable. All right, let's go to, this is from Suzanne. Frozen fruit juice containers with lids that can never be put back on again. All right. Parents who allow their kids to run across the couches on display at Costco. Slobs who open their car door and dump their trash in parking lots and streets. Next time I'm tailing them and I'm going to pack that garbage, dump it up on their car hood. Feels so great. Thank you, Suzanne. This one from Lang. Let's see. Bill, make mine a bummer. Carrie, Geek Show says bummer. And Gina, don't get up. You'll just bum us out. Few things that are vital must goes. Those that desire that masks must go, must go. They forgot that I didn't like their faces in the first place. Folks that use face shield devices, they look ridiculous, don't filter anything, and I still don't want to see your face. Spoilers in toy aisles. It's the best place for it and near impossible to avoid. It's true. You see new toys for a movie that's not even out yet. It spoils a lot of them. Bandwagon protesters. This could be taken in many different ways, but for me, it's the people that came to protest wearing masks at my daughter's high school, and these people don't even live in the same school district. They were just there protesting. Lastly, my grocery store not having my new favorite Mountain Dew flavor. You know, if you can only read one on my list, make it this one. Longtime BFOP Lang. Gina?
I'll go
you?
next.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's see. I have one of my own. And it happened this morning. I got an email from Netflix. You know, the Netflix, you know what that is. And it said, we're updating our prices. Updating. We're updating our prices. No, you're raising your prices.
Oh, the word up was in there.
Yeah. We're raising our prices. Just be direct about it. Okay? This one from, I don't know if it's the same Suzanne, but Suzanne. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to purge my frustration and impatience with certain morons in our environment. If you could kindly make these said morons disappear, it would be handsomely rewarded. Now, I'm not going to say people because I believe it must only be this couple in their 60s doing it. They go into Menchie's. It's in West Valley City. It's a yogurt shop. Each one of them gets a tiny paper cup from the cashier to have a sample. But then they repeatedly go to all of the levers to fill up on the self-serve yogurt multiple times until I'm sure that they've devoured a gallon each. Excuse me, but you're in the way of me, a paying customer. Unbelievably rude, cheap, and without an ounce of manners. Next time, I'm going to call them on it. But, of course, there won't be a next time because you lords have wiped them from the face of the earth. Thank you, Suzanne, the one who parents couldn't afford an E. And this one, loogies. Loogies must go. Be it people who spit them in the sink and leave them there, or people, mostly men, opening their car or truck door to heft out a loogie into what they hope is the street. Heaven forbid their own phlegm should land on their own vehicle. My car was recently vandalized by a loogie when I stopped at a Maverick. Please make this go. And do they still call them loogies?
Sure, I do.
Yes. Listener from day one, Melanie. Gina?
A couple soccer tournament things that must go.
Only two?
Just let your kids have fun. 99% of them are not getting a college scholarship or going to be professional soccer players. Just relax. Quit yelling at them. That is not motivating to yell at your kids. Just let them have fun. The other thing is when you go to these soccer tournaments at these huge soccer fields, they are miles-long soccer fields. And when you have multiple games, you are coming and going and leaving and reparking a bunch of times, trying to remember where you park every single time you come and go. I lost my car twice. You're hitting the button to try to see where it is because you parked in a different place every time. So let's see. This from Tony. My things that must go are the press focusing more on the Finnish skier that froze his penis at the Beijing Olympics than the men's hockey team who won their first gold medal. Well, one's
without a frozen penis among them.
Click, click.
A certain car mechanic haranguing the post office for a package when the sender sent it via UPS during a global pandemic with supply chain issues. This is not the UPS's fault.
No.
Funeral directors manipulating emotional grieving people into upselling packages instead of itemizing their quotes. Bill interrupting Katie during the best question of the week. She works hard and odd hours. She even broke the radio station with a chainsaw. She deserves a pillow for the late nights at the station. And finally, Punk passing away. Must go. Thanks.
Things that must go on the radio from Hell Show.
Traffic, Gina.
I-215 East Belt is snow covered and slick. Not only is there snow falling through portions of Box Elder and Weber counties, there's high wind warnings there. Wind and icy roads are not a good combination. Please stay off the roads up there, especially this morning if you can. Car facing sideways, southbound I-15 approaching 146 South exit in Draper. The right lane and shoulder are blocked. It's a scary drive this morning on I-15 through Bluffdale, Draper, and Sandy. There are multiple crashes both directions of the freeway. We're having another morning like yesterday. Some people are saying it's even worse. Also, there are roadway restrictions in Big and Little Cottonwood Canyons. That's chains four-wheel drive for approved traction devices for all vehicles. And, if you're seeing something, you can text us, but you probably don't need to today because you should focus on the roads. Oh, this just came in. Downed tree blocking Foothill Boulevard at the I-80 off-ramp, down to one lane. Lots of snowing. It's a good work from home today. Today's a work from home day, I think.
Trees are down. All right. Thank you. We'll take a break. We'll be back in the next hour. We got boners round one, and we want to know your favorite X96 memories from the last 30 years. In our X poll coming up after we award round one of your boners. KXRK Provo.
So, I realize I haven't talked a lot about food on the trail, and I'll try to send you some pictures. I've actually taken some pictures of plates of food that I've been eating, but it's really interesting. All the places we stop at tea houses for food, and lunch and dinner, and generally we'll have hot black tea. And then you can order. There are a variety of things on the menu, and they're all kind of the same. You can get spaghetti with meat sauce, spaghetti with tomato sauce, spaghetti with a fried egg on top, and then there are also various local things that you can have. For instance, tonight I'm having Sherpa stew with vegetables. And if I want to, I could have Sherpa stew with vegetables and meat, and that would probably be buffalo meat. I decided I could have a steak. It's a buffalo steak. I'd have thought, I don't think I want a buffalo steak. So there are all kinds of things you can eat. And the service is really pretty good. It's not very crowded up here at this time of the year, and so the service is pretty fast, and they bring stuff out. But I don't know how to describe. It sounds like normal food, but it isn't. It has all of it has a very odd kind of twist to it. It's good. It's filling. But it all has this kind of, like I had a tuna sandwich today. I said, let me try a tuna sandwich and a bowl of soup. Well, the tuna sandwich was just a canned tuna on bread that had been heated up. And I don't think there was anything else on the bread. Just tuna and bread, and then it had been heated up. It was a little odd, but believe me, I ate it. And then one of my favorite things, though, is potato time with the Sherpa guys who are carrying our stuff. A great crew of guys carrying our stuff, and they all gather around and have potato time. There's a big plate of like red potatoes, so back home, small red potatoes, and they bake them up and they take them in their hands and they rub the skin off of them, and then they dip the potato in this kind of hot, spicy chili pepper stuff. Really good. A hot potato, nothing like it at the end of 2 hours. I walked up and up and up today. We'll tell you more about it coming up.
Hey, let's do a giveaway real quick because we have lots of them today.
Well, let's let Carrie do the time check because I always like that, though.
All right, 7:05.
Oh, thank you. Okay.
X96 has your tickets to see Pucifer live, the Existential Reckoning Tour at Eccles Theater, July 7th. We've got tickets right now. I'm going to give you a keyword, and you will text it to 33986 for your chance to win. The keyword is parole. Parole. P-A-R-O-L-E. Parole. Text that to 33986 now to win.
I'm sure many of our listeners are familiar with that term.
They know how to spell it.
Yeah.
They've read it many times. Listen, Euphoria fans, lighten up, okay?
Okay.
About what?
My must go about the play thing. And now I'm hearing from
that was in
Euphoria.
Euphoria.
Oh, that's what it was from?
Euphoria fans are just so sensitive. They look, I know it was an artistic and directorial choice. Okay, I know that. All right.
But it happens in other things too. It's not just that.
It was just a pithy observation. You don't need to attack my Marvel shows about their lack of credibility. All right.
Nope.
Because I know that superheroes aren't real. Okay.
We're meeting with our consultant today.
Oh, can't wait.
So after 30 years of doing radio, I guess 30 years speaks to the fact that we've done radio successfely.
Well, more than 30.
Yeah, 30 is just the X96 part. There's more than 30.
Yeah, but doesn't that suggest we have done it successfully? So, but it's still important to meet with a consultant so that they can tell you how to do your job. And, one of the things that consultants say all the time is that people who listen to the radio like to hear lists of things. Lists. They like them a lot. And
and another thing the consultant tells me is that, we're too political.
Yeah.
Yes.
So because I know our consultant, hi Mike, is probably listening today, let's do a list.
And let's do an especially non-political list.
All right, I've got one.
Shall we?
It's Radio from Hell with another list, because people love a good list. X96.
Now, I've been trying for a long time to do my list of 20 simple sauces that will transform any meal, but
it didn't test well.
No, and people, and I kind of like to do the list of the magic of meringues, but no, Gina suggested this list, and I think we ought to go with it. Gina wanted to do this, I think, last week. 12 things that your farts are trying to tell you about your body. Gina was all over this list last week.
Farts?
Well, it makes sense, doesn't it? Okay? So
what's that fart?
What's that you say?
What are you saying?
I
love
speak
you?
fart, Carrie. Don't worry. So 12 things that your farts are trying to tell you about your body, okay? So if you're concerned that your flatulence is transmitting a message that you're not picking up on, here are 12 possible things that breaking wind may be telling you about the state of your health. Number one, it could be that you have some sort of an infection. The way food is broken down in our bodies is fairly complex, but it involves a lot of bacteria, and new bacteria from an infection will change the character. So if you listen very carefully to it and smell it very carefully.
This is what I want to know. How can I tell if that's the problem?
It smells like sulfur. Your fart will smell like sulfur, like a rotten egg.
Okay.
Number two, you're eating too fast. So you should slow down while you're eating. If your farts are, sort of loud and they come at regular little intervals, like like that. That means there's too much air.
Okay.
You're eating too fast. There's too much air, and that's why that happens. Now, what if you have number three? What if you have a gluten sensitivity? If your farts might be able to tell you that. Gassiness often comes with gluten intolerance. It's important to note that gluten sensitivity is not the same as celiac disease, but your body will treat the protein called gluten like poison. And over time, that reaction can inflame and damage the intestines, leading to malabsorption and indigestion. And then your farts will be very stinky. How about if you're lactose intolerant? Well, we all know that
how
one.
about that?
We should move on. We know what that one is. You know what that one is. It might tell you that you're getting your fiber, and that's a good thing.
Those are good farts.
Yeah.
Those are the farts we're striving for?
Yeah. Yeah, well, kind of, yeah. Certain fruits, vegetables, apples, peaches, pears, and so forth, they're a lot of fiber there, and that's a good thing, and so those are healthy. Just try not to do them in public. Number 6, some medications cause farts. Okay, could be a side effect of a medication, and you might if you take a lot of ibuprofen, it can cause you to be gassy. And so, some people they think, why am I farting so much?
It's the
wait a
Advil?
minute. Yeah,
These are
maybe it's the
Advil
medicine.
farts?
Yeah. You could have irritable bowel syndrome, right?
I could.
Right, Gina?
I could.
I don't really know what that is exactly. It is very common in women, though, right, Gina?
Yes, I am a common woman.
20% of Western women in the world might have IBS. Just might have.
Oh, they do.
Do they? Okay.
We do.
So, and do you ever get over IBS? Can you cure it?
It's a condition. It comes and goes. It's not always there.
You can't, but you can't get rid of it completely?
No, it's just something that rears its ugly head once in a while.
Now you might be having...
Okay.
You might be having hormonal shifts.
Oh, yeah.
I might?
Yeah. Okay. I'm glad we're not in the studio. I'm glad we're broadcasting from our respective homes, because apparently Gina's having a lot of problems.
That is a benefit of not having to worry about these issues as much.
That's true. Trying to hold it in throughout the show. That's hard.
No, we've got it. There's a button right here. It can turn off whenever
They're that loud? Really?
Say, no, my microphone is that good.
No, my microphone is that good.
Very good. There you go.
All right. Well, those are just some of the things that your farts might be telling you.
Guys, you had to make the list political, didn't you? When you mentioned gluten, it's a very political thing.
It is. It's polarizing.
It's
People
very
are
polarizing. You
defensive
had to
about
make it political, didn't you? Yeah.
We hope you'd enjoyed another list with Radio from Hell on X96.
And Advil Fart must be an album title or something, or a
That'll be my
band.
sign-off, maybe.
Well, your sign-off is being suggested as the fart you're striving for. All right. Traffic, please, Gina.
Okay. There are delays. Foothill Boulevard northbound. A tree is down, blocking the lane of travel. All cars are being forced into one lane, causing delays back to I-80 and I-215. The 215 East Belt has snow on it. Not only do you have snow falling through portions of Box Elder and Weber counties, you have a high wind warning. Wind and icy roads, not a good combination. This is a good day to stay off the roads if you can help it. Multiple accidents down through Bluffdale, Draper, and Sandy. And we had reports from friends of program saying Tooele is bad. Utah County is having high wind issues. It's worse than yesterday, I'm afraid. Stay off the roads if you can today. It'd be a good day to work from home. But if you can't, leave some extra space between you and the car in front of you. Feldman's Deli wants to thank customers for their generous support during these challenging times. They're open, offering dine-in, patio, and takeout service Tuesday through Saturday from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Come in for a nosh at Utah's only authentic Jewish deli. More information at feldmansdeli.com.
Now, aren't you sorry that we didn't tackle the list of 20 simple sauces that will transform any meal? Aren't you? Shouldn't we have gone that route instead of... Anyway, we've got Boner Round 1 coming up. Here are the candidates you'll be considering for Boner Round 1. Number 1, will you be representing yourself, counselor? Boner candidate number 2, We don't discriminate against people based on religion anymore. And boner candidate number 3, I seen part of her pregnant belly come right off.
Boners round 1 coming up after these. Stand by for all of that. X96. Did you miss the Radio from Hell show?
Radio from Hell with Carrie, Bill, and Gina. 96.3 FM, X96.
Well, we've taken Pierce Bronson also in that same deal.
The former 007.
Yep.
Did you see that movie he was in, by the way, ever, The Matador?
No, I wanted to see that.
You've got to see it. It's great. He's great in that.
I got to get that one in Kiss Kiss Bang Bang this
And how
weekend.
was he?
Honey, write that down.
He was very nice.
Okay. What am I writing down?
Anyway, sorry.
Oh, you're sweetheart.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, he was great too. Very nice guy. Like him a lot.
Okay,
so.
how about a horror
I was going to
story?
say, we're getting some nice guys.
Well,
Who's the
we've
worst?
taken Paris Hilton.
I knew you were going to say
Did
Paris
you really?
Hilton.
Yeah.
I knew you were going to say
this
that.
last Sundance, we had Paris for 4 days.
That's hot.
And how was that?
You know, Paris is a very unique girl.
He's so nice. He is so nice, isn't he?
How is she unique?
Well, she's got a style of her own. That's for sure. She,
As I
she
pull out
does
the nice
everything.
guy, nice guy to carry
It depends.
translation.
I mean, are we
dictionary.
talking drunk or sober?
You know,
Did you ever see her sober?
No, actually. Maybe once in the morning. I can't be certain though.
So she was a treat to carry around, was
yeah, she. My neighbor's jealous. He loves her, but you gotta meet her. You gotta meet her, I guess.
she? Get the full effect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
You cleaned the limo after that, I hope. You don't want.
we've got a full detailer.
Excellent. Excellent, yes.
And any other quick little horror story about anybody?
No, not really. I mean, most of the celebs are pretty good.
Really nice.
They're some of them can be a little high maintenance, but for the most part, they're really generous. They're nice. Keep to themselves. They don't make a lot of trouble.
It's what you would expect, really. I mean, they just want a nice, quiet ride, and thank you very much.
Now, what about the folks you've been giving rides to in Garland? Have they been high maintenance?
Oh, no, not at all. Just around the block.
Like Paris Hilton? Mac, he wasn't any trouble?
Now the crowd keeps turning over here. Anybody here want to go on a limo ride? You want to go? Anybody?
That has not gone yet?
Yeah, we had a couple.
Wasn't one. Now, if it's only one guy, you got to collect some people and go with you.
2? All right.
Just go around the.
These guys haven't gone.
Just go around the block. It's a treat.
96.3 FM, X96.
The tree has been cleared from Foothill.
Oh.
So, thank you. Let's see, it's 7:21 right now. Let's get to round one of your boners. Here we go. 3 news stories. These will be examples of bad, stupid, or funny human behavior. Boner means mistake. You will decide with your vote of these 3 candidates which one is the worst, which one is qualified to go forward to boner fight and possibly become boner of the day. This is round 1. Round 2 happens at 8:20. We do this again with 3 more candidates at that time. We send both of the winners from each round, one from each round, to boner fight. 9:20 this morning is when you will decide boner of the day with your vote. So let's get to round 1. We'll have 2 candidates now, a third in a bit. Once you've heard all 3, you'll vote. One of you lucky random boner voters will receive
tickets to see Brandy Carlisle at Vivint Arena on August 11th.
Boner candidate number 1, will you be representing yourself, counselor? After she was refused service by a bar manager, a drunken woman in Florida went into the restroom and then emerged completely naked, according to police, who charged her with disorderly conduct. According to an arrest report, Kelly Elkins entered the beach lounge in St. Pete Beach, was intoxicated to the point where the manager said, "I'm sorry, I can't serve you." Instead of leaving, Elkins walked into the restroom and then came back out into the bar completely naked. When Ms. Elkins refused to get dressed, they said, "For God's sake, lady, put on your clothes." The cops were summoned. Upon arriving at the bar, a Pinellas County sheriff noted that Elkins was still naked and had to be repeatedly told to get dressed. But Ms. Elkins, who, as it turns out, is an attorney, put on a hoodie.
I represent myself.
Put on a hoodie, which she did not zip up. The cop said she said she was too tired to put on pants.
Well, now that I have been there.
Too tired to put on some pants in a bar? Well,
just
that's
not out,
great,
just,
Gina. It's
just
great to
not
know.
out in public. I mean,
You've been too tired to put on a pair of pants.
Those pants are heavy.
Yeah.
Boner candidate number 1. Well, will you be representing yourself, counselor? There's boner candidate number 2. We don't discriminate against people based on religion anymore. A resolution is advancing in the legislature here in Utah, calling on youth sports programs to be more accommodating to religious freedom. The House Government Operations Committee voted unanimously on Tuesday to support House Concurrent Resolution 16, sponsored by Representative Candace Pierucci of Harriman. It calls for schools, city leagues, and other youth sports programs to review their policies tied to athletic uniforms. At the center of it all are issues that some children participating in youth sports have been experiencing. Some are required to seek special permission to modify their uniform to match a religious or cultural style of dress, said Luna Banuri, who is the executive director of the Utah Muslim Civic League. There is a systemic issue here that's been going on for years, she said. Just the fact that there are no Muslim girls in collegiate sports in the state of Utah, it's indicative of a very large problem. The league collected accounts from students who have been required to get a waiver form or some other special permission if they wanted to adjust their athletic uniforms to accommodate their religious beliefs, such as a girl who wears a hijab. On Tuesday, the committee was given a statement from a student athlete in Utah who was allowed to play basketball wearing a hijab, but she had to get special permission, and she had to ensure that it matched the color of her uniform before she was allowed to do it. Other students, however, are allowed to dye their hair any number of colors without any issues. And it goes on and on. This is, there's so much of this going on, and the institution in question, the Utah High School Athletics Association. Now, there are other governing bodies but this is the main one. The Utah High School Athletics Association said, Well, we don't require any kind of a waiver anymore.
Anymore.
Yeah.
They used to.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yes.
Ridiculous.
We don't do that anymore.
Let the kids.
I mean, that's good. They don't do it anymore, but
That's good, but
Well, talking about putting your thumbs in your suspender and throwing out your chest and saying, "Well, we don't do that anymore." Boner candidate number 2. Coming up in a moment, boner candidate number 3. I seen part of her pregnant belly come right off.
boner candidate number 3 for round 1 coming up here in a bit.
Matthew Stafford, the football player who, the Rams football player.
Oh, yeah.
And he was on a stage, and there was a woman taking photographs.
It was the photographer.
Yeah, and who fell off the stage and just backed off the stage, and he just turned away from it and walked away, whereas his wife kind of went forward and went, "Oh, my gosh." Well, there's some updated information about that. Gina?
Are you searching for Pokemon? Locally owned Haster Games has the best selection of Pokemon, Dungeons & Dragons, Magic, and more. Shop online at HasterGames.com or visit the store, 6831 South State. Curbside service is available.
I'm going to take him at his word. Matthew Stafford says he feels awful about the way he reacted to the photographer falling off the stage. And he said, I reached out to her and apologized. So, as previously reported, Kelly Smiley fractured her spine after attempting to take a picture of Matthew and his wife last week. The quarterback was captured on video quickly turning around and walking away. He was criticized, and probably rightfully, about how he handled that situation. Well, he discussed it with his wife. He and his wife talked about the incident, and he said, I really was wrong here. And his wife said, Matthew looked at me and said, please check on her. And his wife Kelly said, okay, yes, I will. And please get her number, and I'm going to text her and tell her I'm sorry. So he handled it okay, I think, in the long run. The Oscars coming up, and there are 8 awards that won't be shown on TV live this year. The 8 awards are, they've gone away. Documentary short, here they are. Documentary short, film editing and makeup and hairstyling, original score, production design, animated short, and live action short and sound. They will not be televised live. That's it. I'm not watching. The Oscars are ruined.
Patton Oswalt on his Twitter feed has responded to each category, and he makes arguments for all of them being broadcast, which is why I think that the Oscars shouldn't be broadcast at all.
Yeah, probably not at all.
You know?
Yeah. I mean, the ratings go down and down and down, and this is why they're doing this, because of the ratings slip. And the only reason they do the Oscars is to kind of promote movies and get people to spend money. So,
I mean, no one has ever. Have you ever heard anyone say, "Boy, what a great Oscars broadcast that was"?
Yeah, but if we didn't have
They
the
have
Oscars,
moments.
if we didn't have the Oscars, what would Gina do in April? I mean,
They have moments.
I mean, it just, release the list in the morning. Here are the winners. If you're interested, go with it.
Sure.
Because Patton makes a point. Film editing is just as important as directing. Some might even say it's more important than directing.
Maybe have an hour-long show where you show, quick clips and highlights of winners and that kind of thing. Not, and the winner is, and all of that stuff.
People like to see the stars dressed up.
Apparently they don't, Gina. Apparently they don't. Last year's Oscars were the lowest rated ever.
It's because nobody went to the movies last year. People weren't excited about movies that they hadn't seen. It was not.
And if you're a celebrity, why are you saying yes to hosting the Oscars? It's a thankless job.
Yeah.
The next day, all people will do is bitch about what you did. You know,
Aren't the hosts this year once again from ABC?
There's 3 of them.
It's Amy Schumer,
Yeah.
Wanda Sykes, and one other person.
Yeah.
Now, see, I would look forward to seeing Amy and Wanda.
Yeah.
But you know they're gonna piss somebody off.
Yeah.
You know.
The COVID isn't over, that's for sure. Nobody's
Are you
going to
sure?
host it. Nobody's going to host it either. Well, I'm sure. Apparently the governor isn't. But Utah's COVID-19 cases, they are falling fast, but still high compared to the last surge. And hospitals are continued to be under stress here in Utah. The University of Utah hospital system says we are still just jammed. It's still difficult to take care of all of these people. The doctors there are saying, please be on the right side of the peak, but keep taking the measures you've been taking. That's part of the reason that the rates are going down. And if you stop doing it, well, they're predicting they will go back up. We have a tragedy this morning.
Oh.
He was one of a kind, an original. Oh, she was an original. She will be missed. It's hard to tell looking at this, whether it's a he or a she. It's 44-year-old Western lowland gorilla at the Hogle Zoo. Jo Rae Kay. She was born in 1977, came to the Hogle Zoo from the Denver Zoo in 2011, was a favorite of people who like to go look at the apes at the zoo. 44 is considered pretty elderly for a gorilla, and she had a happy life where she was not allowed to roam free. That 4-year-old kid with the gun fired the gun that his father gave him. They were at the McDonald's drive-thru and in Midvale, and the dad said, here, take the gun, shoot it, and he did. He shot it toward the police officers. Nobody was injured.
Well, he grazed the police officer.
Yeah, one's arm was grazed, but the officers, said it's a miracle nobody was hurt. Now, according to the police report, the dad, Mr. Johnson, said that he'd blacked out and he didn't remember brandishing the gun or racking around at the McDonald's employee. But Johnson also said about his 4-year-old son, well, it's not the first time he's gotten a hold of the gun.
It's not the first.
Unified Police said that he said that police officers are lucky no one is dead.
Yeah.
Mr. Johnson is in custody. He faces charges of felony child abuse. I don't know why they're charging him with anything. Sounds like he's been trying to teach his son how to handle a firearm. That's what we do in America. Start them out young, right?
Not at the age of 4.
Oh, come on.
In the car.
Oh,
yeah.
And
who knows when you're going to need it? Who knows when a 4-year-old in the car is going to...
You want to be a good guy 4-year-old with a gun.
No.
Again, I sprang from that culture. 4 is too young.
Landmark United Nations report has concluded that the risk of devastating wildfires around the world will surge in coming decades as climate change further intensifies. What the report says is a global wildfire crisis. At some point, the entire globe may be on fire.
I saw the road.
It's I don't understand why people don't do anything. Don't get it.
Because money.
Yeah.
Corporate overlords say that it's not important.
That's right. And finally this, they have discovered the remains of a flying reptile, a giant, now these are fossils. This flying reptile is the largest they have ever discovered. So you think of a pterodactyl or you've seen in the movies. This reptile, this was known as a pterosaurus.
Ooh.
It was the size of an aeroplane.
What kind of airplane?
like a jetliner.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it is. They found some fossilized remains off the shore of the Isle of Skye. It had a wingspan of, well, I guess it's not a jetliner, a wingspan of 8.2 feet. So that's more like a private plane.
That's a small plane.
Yeah,
That's-
private plane. But still, that's a big
Yeah.
flying lizard.
I mean, you went from Rodin to.
I wish it were Rodin. That would be nice. It had lots of teeth, too. All right, that's it.
All right. Weather, traffic.
Oh, say goodbye to Jonesy. Bye, Jonesy.
Bye.
Be careful out there on the roads. Snowplows are asking you to not crowd the plow, is what they're saying. Give them some space and room. They are out there. Don't tailgate. Don't stop too close to the snow plow, and never pass on the right. Just let them do their job and